Do we need to explain what we're actually doing with the brakes here?
Hello. On today's episode of...
What? We're wearing the same clothes.
It's almost like we filmed it on the same day. On today's episode of SubPar Automotive, we are upgrading Sunny with new big front brakes, new sick intake manifold.
And those two things.
That's it. This is actually,
No
I'm going to say,
bonus.
we did a pretty good job.
This is, I reckon collectively we're proud of this 15-minute video.
I behaved pretty poorly, but the work that we achieved in it is good.
The highest percentage of stuff that we're still happy with.
Nice.
Stop
talking over me.
Okay.
So what we do...
All right, Kit. What did we do to the brakes?
What we did to the brakes, Cam, is basically, we would have said in previous episodes, but the Corona is solid front disc, pretty small, pretty thin, with a single piston caliper and big old drum rear. We figured we probably weren't going to get time to do anything about the rear yet, so we're focusing on fronts. What we found through foruming was some random guy who said, hey, I think he had an MA60 Celica or something. He's like, if you grab ST141 struts and stub axles, you can run BA Falcon rotors re-drilled to 4x114 with R33 GTR, the sort of POV spec GTR.
GTS.
Any turbo R32 or R33 with Sumitomo calipers,
or,
I believe.
Yeah, or turbo S chassis, even the
350Zs, maybe?
anything. Basically, the cheaper performance brake option that Nissan had in the 90s were Sumitomo 4-pot. Anyway, Sumitomo.
I think it's Sumitomo.
Sumitomo 4-pot calipers, the solid ones. So we basically just went out on a limb and said, yeah, this seems about right. So we purchased some second-hand R33 calipers, we got some new BA discs, got them re-drilled to the right PCD, got our parts compiled, put them on the car, and it basically just completely worked.
Oof. Yes! Zooey mama. That looks incredible. Right. Someone give me a nut.
Questionable statement.
Nut me up, boys. You put the caliper on after the disc. You
Sorry, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
I didn't know that's what we were
And
doing.
we could... Oh, yes.
The only weirdness is that the Corona disc bolts to the back of the hub, and now with the BA disc it goes on the front of the hub.
Yes, but it all just works. So it's a way better way for a race car of doing it anyway, because you can do really quick disc changes and stuff, because you don't have to take all the wheel bearings out just to get the discs on. But so basically that just works. So shout out random forum guy.
Yeah, always believe everything you read on forums.
Yeah.
Always, every time, never question it.
And then also, because obviously the calipers and the discs are way bigger, we've got to run, unfortunately, some different wheels on the front. So for this event, we're going to have some sort of alloy on the front and the same steelies on the back.
It also doesn't negatively affect Cam's financial situation as much when he sells his wheels to
the
team.
racer. Yeah, so we're going
I
to...
can't believe that Cam guy sold us those wheels for so much money.
Yeah. So,
What an asshole.
and then on top of that, obviously...
Where are your things shaped like scissors?
Top drawer, bottom section.
What? What do you mean bottom section?
Like the base. What? What do you fucking mean? What do you...
Oh, top drawer, right. Okay.
Was that not a pretty fucking accurate description?
We've lost the plot.
This is back socket's a good cut.
Where was the joke?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing, I just said...
Like, what bit of that sentence were you making fun of me for driving the car too much, or asking too much of people, or not having control over my finances?
Except there's not a 14 mil in here, though. We've got brake booster. Not brake booster. Brake proportioning valve, because we've got a big boy, nice discs on the front, but shitty drums still on the rear. So
The propulsion valve's not going to help that. It's going to exacerbate the problem.
no, it's actually, that's what they're for. Most, like,
Yeah, it's more when you've got bigger brakes on the back.
no, it's for when you've got worse brakes on the back. So you have more front bias.
We've already got more front bias.
How?
Every car has front bias.
Yeah, but now we need more front bias. It's for both ways. It's for either way. Is either having more front. Oh,
If your brakes are way weaker at the back, you don't need to reduce them.
yes, true, but
This is for when we upgrade them.
yes, but it's also needed for this ways too, because we want to chew through our front brakes more than the rear. Anyway,
I just don't want people on
this is my segment.
I just don't want people on the internet
Yeah,
to yell
okay.
at you.
No one will yell at me. There's a line that runs from the slave, goes into a T-junction to both fronts, and then there's one that goes all the way down to the rear as one pipe. So what we're doing and what you do is you just put a join in the middle of the rear pipe. This happens to run nicely up and over here. So what I've done is we've got a hole there, and our brake proportioning valve is going to stick up through there and be right, a little dial right under our handbrake. So we can adjust that. Got some new hard lines made up as well. So now we need two. So I'm just running them where the original ones were. I just have to bend them up. So there's that hard line down there. So I just have to bend them all up to get to the proportioning valve and hope the fittings all work, and then test it. And hopefully it doesn't leak. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Alright. Pretty happy with the placement of it. I didn't actually check when I was installing it that the handbrake didn't hit it, but it doesn't, it goes next to it. So that's a perfect little spot for that. When you're driving, you want less, you can just dial it out. We'll have to do some testing to figure out where we want it to sit. Probably something like 70-30 or something like that. But for now, it's also a lot of the reason we installed it is in case we lose all our rear brakes, then we can just turn them fully off, which isn't ideal, but what can you do? We're just leaking from one of these fittings that shouldn't be leaking from because it's the right fitting.
These are the replacement fittings that should be correct, yeah?
Yes. Only one of them.
We do have some thread sealer there.
Oh yeah, for brakes.
Any chance the threads were damaged by the wrong fitting?
No, it was the right thread, it was the wrong end on it.
Any chance the bit that interacted was damaged?
Yeah, maybe.
I had to interrupt the tender moment, but can I go back to grinding?
So basically what had happened with our knob was someone on the team tried to screw in some wrong fittings. It was the right thread, but the fitting in the knob was concave and the fitting on the line was convex. So like it just didn't work properly, and because it didn't feel tight because it wasn't actually seating, tightened it a bit more, and it actually just damaged the seat on the adjuster a little bit. So basically it wouldn't normally be a pain apart from the fact that we were like 2 days away from having to be on the racetrack with this thing. So I ended up just having to source another one.
EBC brakes. Challenge everything.
Look at that.
Race car. Gavin, all my tools are on that.
No, now they're just in the pile next to you, you dickhead.
Yeah, you're being one thing.
That's the right size.
Goodbye, my friend. You have been one. Yeah, you have been one for me. Anything you want to say, no, you're a little bit.
We celebrated finishing the brakes by having an enormous argument about the minutiae of the way that the rules are enforced in AFL.
He knows the guy's there.
He's not going up for a test mark.
I think you're full of shit.
Straight up.
I think that is insane.
You straight up. Wow! Like where's Toby Green just...
Tucks in, clearly not going for the
He's
money.
Watch the Peter Wright one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that one's worse.
We all agree that's the worst of the three.
Yeah.
But it's that one, Toby Green Maynard.
No.
100%. Show us the Toby Green one again.
You say he's not contested the footy. They kicked the footy to him.
There's no bit where he's like, oh, here's the ball.
They're absolutely...
If I decide that it's going to be legal and that the AFL won't come after us, I'll put the two clips that we're arguing about up in the video and you can tell us which guy is an enormous dickhead.
Thumbs up the video for is, and thumbs up the video for isn't.
One of the several thousand other jobs we had to do was make a rear toe point, since we're pulling the tow bar off, which is what we used as a tow point in our first race. So here I am cutting up the tow bar and smoothing it out to drill a hole in as a rear tow point.
In the unlikely event that we will need to be towed from the track.
That wouldn't happen to us.
Not backwards.
Nice.
Because the 3S was out of the Camry, which is front wheel drive, we couldn't reuse the intake manifold because it was just all in the wrong place and wouldn't have fit under the bonnet, and the throttle body would have had to be where the windscreen is, and it just wouldn't have worked. So we decided to 3D print our own. We decided our runner lengths based on a weird internet calculator that we found that let us aim for 5,500 RPM to be peak power. We tried to keep the plenum volume the same as the original Camry plenum volume, and the rest of the design was based on a mood board full of R33 billet intake
Our Pinterest intake board.
Yeah, so we started this by photocopying the gasket to get the shape of the flange. We just traced out the scan in CAD and made some extrusions and whatnot, and then bada bing, bada boom, intake manifold. Before we spent real money getting it printed out of nylon with an SLS printer, I printed in smaller sections, because my printer's not very big, just a test dummy out of PLA, just to make sure it would fit. We printed the flange, the runners, and the flat bottom part of the plenum.
We just printed the bits that might hit stuff.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Always cut towards yourself.
Our $5,000 custom intake.
Feels solid as f***.
Oi.
That feels so good.
And they say we're not professional. How good.
That's actually so cool, Gavin. Well done. It's very cool.
It is going to look like
Choice.
we really know what we're doing in the engine bay. Because like, regardless of the level of engineering, you've done a nice job designing it in a nice simple way.
We haven't made it.
And yes, and a robot made it.
Yeah.
And so like, people will open the bonnet and it'll be like, oh.
Yeah. We got this printed out of nylon because it has a plastic deformation temperature of 150 degrees and doesn't melt till about 180 degrees. This should be enough. If our head gets that hot, we've got some other pretty major problems. While nylon does absorb moisture and geometry isn't super stable when there's a wet, moist environment, it doesn't degrade with fuel and oil and brake fluid and whatever else was floating around in our engine bay that could have dissolved our intake manifold.
In an effort to seal, we painted the intake manifold with black spray paint until it stopped absorbing black spray paint.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of it is black spray paint now. Quite a lot of the structure, I imagine, but it was high temp stuff, so all good.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, is this your intake?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Or China, according to the box.
Okay.
Well, China, depends who you ask.
So we're not using any of this footage.
I'm not scared of the Chinese government.
I am. Cool.
Very cool. Nice work, Gav.
Thank you. I gotta stop giving thumbs up.
An artist's impression of what it's going to look like. Sick. Gavin and I had a quick planning meeting about the extra support we wanted to add to protect the intake manifold.
This much movement? F***s that.
It's not going to move this much because this is already stiff as f***. It's just a bit of extra support holding the...
Yeah, this is less strong than this, therefore will do nothing.
That's... You know that is not how things work. F***ing engineers. It's not. If you have... It's not.
It's not.
If you add strength to a thing, it gets stronger.
To stop something vibrating, it actually needs to be rigid. It can't be... Like, it will help. But... It's gonna be pretty annoying if you go, well, it helped, but a f***ing intake manifold has disintegrated.
I'll concede that. I will concede that. Find a bit of steel then. I eventually folded and made the intake manifold brace out of steel. As we were pretty short on time, instead of making a fully sick 3D printed cold air ram air intake, I just cut the airbox in half from the Camry so that we'd have some intake noise.
This is bad, now I can see myself.
I can't see myself, it's ideal. Alright, so that was that episode. We have now got big, enormous, ridiculous brakes on the front of the car.
Big, enormous, ridiculous brakes.
We've got a tow point.
Got a big, enormous, ridiculous tow point. A medium-sized, not ridiculous intake. And what else?
Oh yeah, the engine can breathe now.
The engine can breathe.
We've got a brake proportioning valve that keeps all the brake fluid inside
that's one of
the
the
systems.
The brakes work a lot better.
Yeah,
When
we
the
didn't want
brake
any of
fluid
those.
stays inside the system.
So what have we got left to do?
The car is still not running, we haven't got a fuel system in it, and we haven't done any wiring.
Tune in next time to see us do none of that and probably fix a bunch of random stuff that we forgot about.
So next video should be fuel system wiring.
Yep.
Then 3 days of panic.
Yep.
Then colder.
Cool.
Nice. I especially look forward to the 3 days of panic. I can't wait to relive those memories.
Yeah. Tune in next time to see more SubPar work double entendre.